Hello everybody, this is Kay, and thank you for joining me here today on my channel, Gigi's Paper Treasures. I have a flip through to share with you today of a journal I just completed. It's an envelope journal, kind of an accordion style, and it's just lovely, and I'm gonna share that with you today. I am gonna be posting this on my Etsy shop, so if you're interested in hopping over there and taking a look, I'll put the link in the description box below. So this is 10.5 by approximately 6 is the size of it. For the closure here, I've done some lace with some of this ribbon kind of intertwined through it, and I used a gold kind of latch style closure. I picked this up at Hobby Lobby in the sewing section, so I'll show you that up close. And I've given a little bit of leeway in case, you know, whoever ends up owning this journal wants to add more stuff to it. There is a little bit of space. I didn't want to make it too loose, but I also didn't want to make it too tight so that nothing more could be fit into this journal. So like I said, it's an envelope journal, kind of a flip-flop style. It just goes back and forth like this, or you can stretch the whole thing out like so. And I've got the backs embellished as well. I will show you these as I flip through this. So let me just fold this back up real quick, and we'll go through it one kind of section at a time. So this is the front, and this is a little coin envelope that I've tucked a little tag into. And I've used papers from a paper pad that I picked up at Hobby Lobby, and the name of the paper pad is actually Ephemera. It's single-sided, which was perfect for this because most of the stuff that I made I just used to cover up plain envelopes and things like that for decoration. So that's the first envelope. It's a small one. I did some stenciling, and each of the envelopes all have something tucked into them for journaling on, like a tag or a journaling spot or some tea-dyed paper or, you know, whatever. There's plenty of writing space, long story short there. In this envelope, I have one of these kind of waterfall little notepads and a little tag, and they just tuck into there like that. Actually, I have this one. This is kind of a little double tag with a little circle, and I kind of had it hanging over the edge. And I've also just put in plain writing spots on some of the envelopes. Here's another piece of that trim with the ribbon in it. Okay, inside this envelope, I've got a couple of things, just some journaling paper and a tag. I'm gonna try and tuck these all back in where they belong so I don't get confused about where I have things. And this envelope, I actually brought it over to this side of this envelope and made like a little tuck spot out of it right here, which I have a couple of items tucked into there, as well as some papers that I've tucked inside the envelope itself. These are just coffee dyed scraps of paper and a guest check, which can be removed and journaled on or used for other projects. Okay, I'm just going to keep going this way, and then I'll turn around and go back the other way. In this pocket or envelope, I've got a couple of little things tucked in here, a journaling card and a tag. And then on the outside part of this envelope, I did a series of little mini pockets, and each one of these little pockets has some little items tucked into it. So this is just all chock full of ephemera and tags and tickets and whatnot. Okay, on this side I have made a tuck spot here on this side of this envelope, And I've taken another little coin envelope and put a little label on here with, this is a metal embellishment of a key. And then inside here I have a little journaling spot. Just kind of a simple trifold graph paper journaling spot tucked into that coin envelope. And that just fits nicely into this little tuck spot here. Okay. And then also another series of little coin envelopes here that I've tucked a couple of scrappy little notepads into this one. I've trimmed the top of these with some lace. I did a little more stenciling on this envelope because it was so white. I wanted to kind of take that down and add a little interest there. Another little scrappy notepad. I like to make these little notepads out of scraps, obviously. It's one way to use up your scraps, that's for sure. And they make great little writing spots for tucking into small places. Another little writing spot here. A little bookmark in the back of this pocket. And then I just have this little card paper clipped onto the front of this little coin envelope. Okay? And then this is the back. And this is my tallest envelope of all. And I have inside here just some coffee dyed paper, regular paper, coffee dyed, for use however the owner of this journal wants to use it. And on the very back, I've got an envelope here that I tipped it in with a hinge so it kind of flips out. And this is one of those fabric and embossed tags that I made. I made these quite some time ago, and they're kind of an odd shape. They're a little bit wide, short and wide, but it works really good for this particular pocket. And that just kind of flips out like that. There's a writing spot here, and then I have another tall coin envelope up here with a tall tag in that one. Okay. And then what I'm going to do from here is I'm going to go back to the front, and I'm going to flip the other way and show you what I have on the other side of each of these envelopes. So this is a lovely gold envelope. Most of it's covered up in the front, but on this side you can see more of it. And I kind of put a little tuck spot on this outside of this envelope with a couple of little items in there, as well as a tag and some tea-dyed tissue paper that I've tucked into this envelope. On this side, I just put a writing spot with some kind of brocade. I don't know if that's what you call that. Gold ribbon, kind of lining that one. Okay, the inside of this pocket envelope. I was just making sure I didn't have anything else in there. A pocket tag. So this is a tag which has a little pocket on it and a few little pieces tucked into that pocket. And a little kind of crochet ribbon topper there. Tuck that back in. Writing spot here. Okay. On this side of this kind of taller envelope, I've got a writing, kind of a little notepad. This is kind of a side loading type belly band thing, and I just have some kind of vintagey graph paper tucked under there. This is a few sheets, I think 3 or 4 sheets of this, and I just thought I would add a paper clip to the spine just to kind of hold it in place. But then also on the inside of this envelope, I've got excuse me, I've got another little kind of a booklet writing spot with some more of that graph paper in it. And I've kind of holding it together with some eyelets and added the ribbon on there just so it wouldn't be missed that there was something tucked in underneath this as well. A little writing spot on that side. Okay. On the side of this, inside this envelope, I have another kind of a coin envelope type thing that I made out of a book page, a hummingbird book page. And it's got one of these little policy closures with a couple of little gold beads there. And inside, I just have another little journaling card that I did some stamping and adding some fussy cuts to on the back side of a tea-dyed index card. So that's what's inside there. And it just kind of wraps around in a figure 8 a couple of times, like that. I've got a writing spot on here, and I put some corners on here because the corners were looking, I don't know, there was something funky looking about the corners, so I wanted to cover those up. And I think that's about it. I showed you the very back, so that's the very back, which we've already seen. So that is it for my envelope accordion style junk journal. I had a lot of fun making this journal over the last few days, and it's really a fun thing to use up. I mean, there's no two envelopes alike. I went into my envelope stash and found a bunch of different envelopes. No two are alike. So it was really fun making this. Let me know in the comments if you'd like to see me do like a tutorial on how to make one of these. I mean, it's kind of obvious, I guess, but if you'd like to see a video on it, just let me know in the comments, and I will make a video on how I actually put this together. Thank you so much for watching today. Have a blessed day.